right? It was a way for me to cope and regroup. In the morning, as I get dressed, I wake up in the morning, I'm still nauseous from the treatment from the day before, right? Get up, wash my face, feel good, put on makeup, and face the world. That's really how I broke. Hey, my name is Keisha Hickson, known as the Fearless Survivor. My entrepreneurial journey started about 6 years ago when I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. My first business, which was going into our 5th year, is Shining Star Kids Salon. It is a hair braiding salon for children in Brooklyn, New York. My second business is called Survivant Skincare. Survivant stands for Survivor in French. It's a full line, gender neutral skincare line. And my latest venture is called Labella & Co. We are a curated gift box business at 20 Hudson Yards in New York City. Well, about 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. And at that point, I decided that I wanted to take a leap into entrepreneurship. Multiple myeloma is a rare cancer of the plasma cells. It's incurable, but it's very much treatable. So I decided, like, what would really be my legacy? And that's what birthed Shining Star Kids Salon. Prior to that, I worked in the financial industry for over 25 years. Survivant was birthed during the pandemic. So in 2020, when the pandemic exploded and New York City went on pause, my whole cancer team called and was like, don't come outside. Because at that time, if you were immunocompromised, if you caught COVID, it was, it was possible that I wouldn't survive getting COVID because of my ongoing treatment for multiple myeloma. So during that time, we all was like full of anxiety, and I was home for like 90 days. So I just started doing like rituals that I've always did to kind of calm me down a little bit, like deal with myself facials, steaming, and this how Survivant was birthed. It was kind of like all the things that I like in different skincare brands, I brought it all together. Like the smell of lavender, which is the night detox moisturizer to calm you down. The cucumber scent of the daily cleanser is refreshing in the morning because now I'm not going outside, right? Because I have to stay inside. So I wake up in the morning, kind of refresh myself with the daily cleanser, and I started testing different products, and that's how Survivant was birthed. The reason why I chose Survivant because, battling multiple myeloma, my life expectancy is really 3 to 5 years at the time of my diagnosis. I'm very fearful of what can happen, but I'm keep pushing forward, and that's why I keep going harder with all these different businesses. Anything that I think that I needed at the time, I kind of almost recreated. Like the kids salon, at the time my daughter was 8 years old, I started the kids salon because it was an ease for me to have her hair done at the salon. So I figure other parents are going through the same thing who may be ill or just having some challenges. Providing a service to make life easier for somebody who's going through a challenging time. And that's kind of how Shining Star Kids Salon was birthed. Survivant also was birthed because that's a ritual of you taking care of yourself. Because no matter how you feel on the inside, as you're going through all the treatments and the emotional turmoil, how you look on the outside as you face the world. That's how Survivant was birthed. Labella was birthed. I'm the co-owner of Labella. My partner is also a cancer survivor. She had breast cancer, and we kind of came together during the pandemic as well because we wanted to show gratitude to the people who were here. It was a time where people were passing away at like 900 at a time. We would be on the phone watching TV during the day, and the death toll will come out from COVID, 800, 900 people at a time. It definitely put us in a place of we wanted to show gratitude to our loved ones and bring that back, that old-fashioned way of gifting, and that's how Labella was birthed. So the basis of my companies is how to soothe during a time of difficulty. My biggest lesson would be knowing when to pivot, right? Knowing when to pivot, understanding that maybe the course of action that you choose to take may have been a good idea at the time, but it's not working, right? How to pull the plug and readjust. Because if you don't pivot quickly, you kind of get lost, right? And time is going, right? So it became important for me to set benchmarks and stick to those timelines. So whether it's 30, 60, 90 days, am I where I want to be in 30 days? What could I do better to make the next benchmark of 60 days? It's really just taking account of every aspect of the business, operationally, sales-wise, customer service, and ensuring that you are hitting the mark. Because you need all three. You need operating a strong operational background. You have to manage your finances to the T. Everything in the business has to pay for itself, right? It has to just make sense. So that would be some of my biggest lessons, is really sticking to the Excel spreadsheet, like from my sales world. And my pipeline, am I really hitting my targets? Me seeing myself as a black woman are beautiful, period, right? Me breaking into the beauty industry was really because of me constantly being on some type of treatment or chemotherapy, and how I felt on the inside. Like going through the stem cell transplant, going to the doctor twice a week. My beauty ritual became a way of me making sure how I felt on the inside wasn't really being shown on the outside, right? It was a way for me to cope and regroup. In the morning, as I get dressed, I wake up in the morning, I'm still nauseous from the treatment from the day before, right? Get up, wash my face, feel good, put on makeup, and face the world. That's really how I broke into the beauty industry. It was more of a self-care aspect, like that 5 minutes of me pulling myself together. Because as I'm going through treatment and everything else, I'm still a mother. I still had a career going on at the bank, and I was still running my businesses, and I had to face the world. But no one wants to, I don't want to portray what's really happening, how I feel on the inside. So that's really how I ended up breaking into the skincare line, Sur Vivant. It was my own coping mechanism. I think staying true to yourself is understanding your purpose and the reason why you started certain businesses. You really have to understand your why, right? So when I decided to become an entrepreneur, my why was to leave a legacy for my daughter, and also to have a positive impact on my community and to empower other women. So my overall story that I would like to portray is kind of being diagnosed with multiple myeloma definitely was a gift to me. And I wanted to share that gift with other people. Like, don't matter what you're going through, you have to pivot again, put a plan in place, and move forward, and let it consume you. So knowing my why and why I choose to go into certain industries, why I would like to be in certain rooms, outside of being an entrepreneur and launching these businesses that have turned to be very successful, what I would really like people to really get is just start, right? If you have a dream, just start it and know your why. And don't get into an industry only because it's trending. Because entrepreneurship is not easy and it's not glamorous, okay? It's not. You know, I read something the other day and it said, which seems to be an overnight success was 10 years in the making. So, you know, in I call it the microwave world of social media, people think that you open a business, you throw up these posts, and all of a sudden you're making 6 figures. And that's not what it is. That's really not what it is. So because I understand my why, I understand my purpose, and I will definitely try. My purpose is to also empower other people. Life happens. Outside of being diagnosed with a terminal illness, there is divorce, there's financial hardships, people are suffering from mental illness. It's so many challenges that we go through throughout our lifespan, but we have to understand how to manage and cope and move forward. Don't let it consume you. So that's how I stay true to myself. I know why I'm here and what I want to accomplish. Right? And of course, you know, we talk about going into our niche markets, on being aligned with your customer base or your tribe. And that's also part of being true to yourself and being authentic, is to be in the rooms with people that you both can share in the relationship. And that's important for me as well. How we can learn from each other and help each other and empower each other. When you ask me to do the shoot, you ask me to tell you what my alter ego is. So the first look was very vibrant. Almost remind me of like Disco Fever. I'm kind of dating myself with that, right? Because one, both outfits or both scenes I would not have picked for myself, right? The first look kind of spoke to the flirty side of the fun side. Like, you know, like most of my close friends know that I like to joke around, and they see a different side of my personality than when I'm conducting business. My close friends, so that first look kind of captured the flirty part of me. The second look of me in the casino, I'm a risk taker, right? If I dream it, I can make it happen. Sometimes I shoot from the hip. Does it cost me sometimes? Maybe, but that's the only way I know how to be. Just go for it. Because you can plan, and you'll never do it. So sometimes you just got to jump into it. So that's what the second scene really is the example of my alter ego of, I'm a risk taker.